Welcome to cycle 3, week 11 hand motions. We're going to start with timeline. So for timeline, we start with Norman conquest and feudalism. So we're going to do an N hand, which is just put your finger, put the thumb between these and put the 2 over so you have 2 humps like a cursive N. Norman conquest and feudalism is just like we talked about the Heian period where it's a caste system. So you have the caste system, so we're just going to stack it. Norman conquest and feudalism in Europe. And then we have the Crusades. So we're going to make a cross by our heart and pull it out. The Crusades. For Zimbabwe, we're going to make a wall because think about a wall with Zimbabwe. We're going to make B hands facing towards us and make a wall. We're in a box. Zimbabwe and early Mali in Africa. We're going to make an M hand, which you just put your thumb over here by the pinky and fold the 3 over, like a cursive M, it has 3 humps. So early Mali in Africa, they were dominated the gold trade. So we're gonna do M for Mali, and then we're gonna point to our ear and make our Y hand and shake it for gold. Then we go to Aztecs of Mesoamerica. They made pyramids, so we're gonna make a pyramid shape out of our hands, with our hands. And then we go to Francis of Assisi and Thomas Aquinas. We're gonna make an F for Francis of Assisi. Put your thumb and finger together and stick the rest up. That's F. And for Thomas Aquinas, we're just gonna make a T, which is 1 finger over your thumb. And then we're gonna go into Japan shoguns. They fought with swords, so we're gonna pull out our sword and wield it at each other, straight in front of you. And then Incas of South America, they lived in the mountains, so we're gonna make mountains. And there's a bunch of mountains, or we can climb the mountains. Incas of South America.
Conquest and feudalism in Europe, the Crusades, Zimbabwe, and early Mali in Africa. Aztecs of Mesoamerica, Francis of Assisi and Thomas Aquinas, Japan shoguns, Incas of South America.
Cubes, we're gonna do the same thing like we did last week, is we're gonna set up our floor dots in a square, and we are going to march the square while we chant it, and we're gonna do frog hopping while we chant it. So we're gonna have fun with that. Then we're gonna go to history. Tell me about the Civil War. In 1861, the Civil War, we're gonna make a C and a W. The Civil War began with President Abraham Lincoln. He wore those tall hats, so we're gonna put our tall hat on. With President Abraham Lincoln went to war. We are gonna do like this, like we've done for timeline for war. With the southern states, we're gonna point down for south. And then that had seceded. They're crossing their arms, they're leaving, they're being stubborn from the Union.
11. Tell me about the Civil War. In 1861, the Civil War began when President Abraham Lincoln went to war with the southern states that had seceded from the Union.
In 1861, the Civil War began when President Abraham Lincoln went to war with the southern states that had seceded from the Union.
So this is the last of the 3 Latin rules that we're learning. So Latin nouns, so we're gonna do an L hand and an N hand, Latin nouns. And pronouns, we're just gonna change our L to a P hand. And pronouns have different endings. We're gonna tap our tush like we did for the first one. And called declensions. We're gonna make a D hand, which is just like make an O and pop that first finger up. Declension. So Latin nouns and pronouns have different endings called declensions. So now we're going to do all 3 of those in the Latin song, which covers all 3 from week 9, week 10, and week 11 of the rules. It's a slow song.
Latin rules you must know. Here we go. Here we go. Latin verbs have different endings. They are called conjugations. Conjugations. Latin
pronouns have different endings called declensions. Okay, science. What is the endocrine system? And this is not a list like we've been giving. This is like a sentence. So the endocrine system, we're going to do an E hand and an S hand. It's just like A, but you tuck the thumb in front. The endocrine system consists of glands. We're just going to, glands are kind of like vein like it. So we're just going to make our finger wander around. Glands and organs, we're just going to outline our heart, that use hormones to send messages. For that, we're going to pretend to lick a stamp and put it on our envelope. Flat hand out, lick your stamp. Don't really lick your hand, just pretend lick and stamp it. That send messages through the bloodstream to the rest of our body. We're going to sign body. So 2 hands, chest, waist.
Endocrine system, glands and organs that use hormones to send messages through the bloodstream to the rest of the body. This is the endocrine system, glands and organs that use hormones to send messages through the bloodstream to the rest of the body.
Now, English, we're going to do to set. So we're just going to pretend like we're setting a table. So we have our plate, and we're going to do to set. We can take our cup, set, sets. We can take our fork and knife, set, setting, and then maybe fold our napkin, set. We're going to just pretend like we're setting our table while we do the different motions.
Let's conjugate a verb. Let's conjugate to set, setting, set. You know you got it. You bet. To set, setting, set. You know you got it.
Moving on to the geography, like the mountain ranges in the US. So there's 4 mountain ranges we're going to talk about right now. The White Mountains. So we're going to sign white. It's like you're pulling your shirt, but not actually. White Mountains, Green Mountains. You're going to make a G and shake it. Green Mountains. So White Mountains, Green Mountains. Adirondack. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but they'll pronounce it right in the song. Adirondack Mountains are like a dome. They're in New York, and they almost make like a circular dome. So we're gonna make a dome over our heads. And then we have the Allegheny Mountains, which is like the Appalachian Mountains. And the word Allegheny comes from a word that means river. So we're just gonna sign river to our hand, and you make the river.
White mountains, green mountains, Adirondack mountains, Allegheny mountains. White mountains, green mountains, Adirondack mountains, Allegheny mountains.
And that is it for cycle 3, week 11 memory work hand motions.